Hello there, everybody. Welcome back. It's Jesse along with Pride. Say hello, my friend.
Hello, my friend.
That works. Yeah, I apologize in advance. Pride and I have been talking for a good, like, 45, 50, 60 minutes, like an hour and a half. I'm not even sure how long we've been talking. Just goofing around on
Hold
Skype.
on, we can find out. What does it say? 54 minutes and 27 seconds.
When we should have been recording and doing a video for you guys, we've just been goofing. So I've been sitting here and I made like a poor man's version of Monster Chaos. It's basically I took Monster and then found some orange juice and mixed it together. And it seemed like a great idea 40 minutes ago. But now I got like the super burps. So if in this video I'm like, okay, yeah,
All this because earlier today I actually had real Monster Chaos.
Well, I made poor man Monster Chaos, and mine's probably better for you. It doesn't have whatever is in Monster Chaos. We are plugging them like crazy. Dear Monster Chaos.
Seriously,
we
send
accept
us some money,
all, yeah, send us, no, screw money. I just want drinks.
Yeah, hell yeah. Just send me a bunch of Monster Chaos.
Get on that, Monster. Someone should send this to Monster. What they're going to do is they're going to ask us to stop talking about them. We'll get a letter from their lawyers like, please stop. Please stop.
A cease and desist. Please remove the video.
Yeah, they'll ask us to take it down. Anyway, enough of that. We're here to talk about 4.3's new raid, the Dragon Soul. As we explained in our last video that came out a few hours ago, we have this system where it's just like Ice Crown, where there are 3 dungeons that I'm pretty sure you're going to have to do before you go into the raid. And if you don't, at least they'll explain the story leading up to the raid. And so you go through those 3 dungeons, and now you're in the new 1025 raid that is basically you're helping Thrall and the dragon aspects take on the Black Dragonflight, the Twilight Dragonflight, the Cultists, and of course, Deathwing himself. So, going into the raid itself, after all these dungeons, you finally arrive at Wyrmrest Temple. Now, Wyrmrest Temple is under siege by all the forces of evil, and all the nasty bad guys are there, and of course, as it happens, that's where the Dragon Soul needs to be recharged. So,
of course, like,
yeah,
why not?
Of course, it's just like the ending of every movie. The good guy has to go someplace filled with bad guys because that's just where he has to go, right? And so, for those of you who have watched the progress of WoW over the last 2 expansions, they're really trying to get cinematic with their storytelling and which is kind of a shame. Mental note here, I guess, like side note, whatever note. It's kind of sad that they're waiting till now to get cinematic with WoW, when I can only imagine what old vanilla WoW or Burning Crusade would have been like if they went this path and tried to make it more story driven rather than like, here's some more loot, right? But that's just me being a lore nerd. So,
you're not a lore nerd.
Oh, I'm sorry, wannabe lore nerd.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thanks for saving me that sad title.
No, the whole point is, like, I don't want people, because I've already seen, like, the inbox, and people are already asking you lore questions that I know you have no idea how to answer.
I'd give them an answer. Doesn't mean to be the right one. You get an answer, though. Well, you see, Ysera is actually a Pandaren. And it turns out that Alexstrasza is a man.
I'm jealous of that keyboard. That is a very quiet keyboard. Like,
it was my desk, so that would explain that. All right. So anyway, getting back again, we have way off topic. My apologies to the listener viewers. So the way this raid works is that there are 6 bosses, but then there's a 7-8 boss, which I'm not sure if that means there's 6 bosses, then Deathwing, and then 2 phases of Deathwing, or 6 bosses, then Deathwing, then a heroic version only heroic people get to see.
No, it's 6 bosses, and then Deathwing, and then Deathwing.
Right, but is it heroic Deathwing, or is it...
No, one takes place on Deathwing's, like, back, and then the other one takes place not on Deathwing's back.
Again, it's great to have you here, man. So, the way it works is that the very first one is a dude named Morchok, which he's a big ice guardian, an elemental, and he's going to be pretty much outside of Wyrmrest Temple, and he's going to be trying to break down the damn thing Because apparently the temple is Azeroth's, like, last beacon of hope in the hour of twilight. Which, to me, says this is the perfect chance for Blizzard to have people like Ronin and all these heroes who are in the world, especially in Northrend. If you aren't bringing, like, Grand Crusaders and stuff there to stop them, like, the Lich King's pretty much handled. If there aren't, like, if everyone and their brother isn't there for this battle, that is a missed opportunity by Blizzard. I'm just saying. Because if you go to the Firelands, all those Fireland pre-quest things and all the dailies, there's that one quest where random characters show up, right, to help you kill the giants and things like that. Why can't they just have those random characters there to help you? Just saying. Just saying.
Because those same random characters are the random characters you have to fight, like in time.
But that doesn't matter. No. That's not at all. Not at all. This is an end time. This is that final battle. This is where everyone and their brother should be there. Every single NPC in the game should be. If Worm's Rest is their last hope, the last beacon of freedom against the evil that is Deathwing, everyone should be there. Everyone. No exceptions, Blizzard. I will not accept anything else. If this isn't like the be-all end-all of like just massive armies clashing, like in the background of this battle, which would be pretty badass, then I got nothing. I will cry. I will cry a little nerd death.
No. The best thing is JJ Keishan has to just like come out and
just go, the entire battle.
The whole thing.
Exactly. So then after you beat that guy, the next boss is, well, actually it's two. There's Warlord Zonaz, which is apparently, and this makes no sense to me when it comes to lore. Maybe you can help me out with this, because I've never heard this before in my life. It says that he and his soldiers waged endless war against the forces of Cthulhu and Yogg-Saron. Millennia have passed, but the warlord still serves the chaotic might of the old god N'Zoth. Deathwing has now unleashed his legendary force, Faceless One, to crush the defenders of Wormrest Temple.
Yeah, so I guess because like you've got three named old gods here, and they're saying that he was fighting two of them and he serves one of them. I mean, that just goes back way long ago, like even before, the Titans and whatnot. I mean, the old gods were here first. I mean, they've always been here. But
is this saying then that the old gods hated each other?
Well, some of them, yeah. I mean, there are definitely factions within the old god. I mean, it's just like the aspects. You've got some that like each other more than others, and there was a time when the old gods were fighting with each other, and N'Zoth was against Cthulhu and Yogg-Saron, so.
That's interesting, because it seems like the old gods are total buddies.
Well, I mean, I think I think right now, I mean, they're all serving the same end. I mean, they all want to be free, but that doesn't necessarily mean they all have to like each other if they have to work together. I mean, look at us. I hate you, but I work with you.
Thanks, buddy. Once again, glad you're here. I guess because the assumption is so far in the game, no matter what bad guys have said, they've always said the old gods or the Faceless Ones, or they've referred to them as plural, like no matter who they are, be it, the many eyes of Cthulhu, or the mouths of Yogg-Saron, or the tentacles of N'Zoth. I'm not sure what the hell his thing is. They've all sort of been like to the same objective, the same goal.
Yeah, and that's obviously. I mean, they're imprisoned inside of Azeroth. I mean, of course, take prison for example, right? Like if you have two separate gangs in prison and they have a chance to get out, they're gonna work together to get out. But once they get out, they're still gonna shoot each other in the face.
So basically, you just watched season 1 of Prison Break, is what you're telling me.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
Okay.
That's like one of my favorite shows, so I know all about prison.
Then, either during this encounter or right after it, because they're both in the same room, which is strange, is Yorsaj the Unsleeping, which basically is another one of Deathwing's malevolent destroyers, and is trying to bring about all the Faceless Ones. And it's interesting here because, and again, this could be just they're reusing models, and they're lazy, or this is something that, again, is going to drive me crazy. Zonaz has the faceless makeup of those Faceless Ones who worshipped Yogg-Saron. And Your Saj has the makeup of the Faceless Ones who worshipped Cthulhu.
That is very interesting. Very keen eyes there, Jesse.
Thank you, sir.
Very keen eyes there.
Thank you, sir.
I'm gonna say that perhaps these are placeholder models. Maybe.
I don't think so. I think they wouldn't release screenshots if they were placeholder models.
That's true.
Which confuses the hell out of me.
I'm gonna say there's gonna be a retcon in the near future.
I'm gonna say that whoever drew up this press release might have made a mistake.
That or it's just it could very well just be coincidence that.
Or like you said, they're like, screw it, we're all on the same side now.
Yeah,
and
I don't know. I mean, it could just be like cross-pollination of cultures.
Cross-pollination.
Hey,
beautiful flowers.
No, I'm serious. Like, I mean, what? New York City. You live there, melting pot of the world and all that.
Yeah, all right, okay. I guess that makes sense.
All right, there are many different ways we can explain it. It's not that big of a deal.
Right. The next boss is one that originally, earlier in the day, they said the fourth boss was a female shaman who was a master of totems, and the fight had to do with manipulating the totems or fighting the totems. Now, I guarantee, Pride and I at the time thought, Magatha Grim Totem. 100%, gotta be her. I'm telling you, this drink right now is killing me. All right. Had to be her. We thought it was her, right? I mean, female shaman, totems, Magatha Grim Totem is 100. She's in there. Like, that's who we thought it would be, because story-wise, last time you see her, she was held captive by the Twilight Cult, and she breaks free, and our main issue with that was, why would she be fighting for the Twilight Cultists when she hates them? So clearly
my deal was that they could have promised her what she wanted, which was control of Thunderbluff.
Right, but then in the end there would be no Thunderbluff. So I figure she's smarter than that as a bad guy. But so she, it turns out, is not the boss. Instead, it's Hagara the Binder, one of the first students of arcane magic under the Forsaken. So I guess she is a undead.
Yeah, apparently she's an undead shaman.
And so she's going to use the elements against you. And she was ensnared and twisted by Alakir, who is kind of funny because we owned him right off the bat. So apparently she's stronger than her former master, whatever. So she's completely loyal to the Twilight's Hammer, and she binds elements, and she masters them, right? She torments the elements. So, yeah, I'm not sure how I feel about just random new character, but I'm okay with that. I like killing random new people because I don't have to care about them. That's a good thing.
I mean, and this was our second option. I mean, that it would just be some random, insert here.
And I actually think that's better, because Magatha deserves better than that, to have an entire storyline and an entire zone revolve around her. I don't know if it's with the... I don't know if the Alliance experience... Did you play through the new Thousand Needles on Alliance?
No.
Okay, thanks for helping me there. Well, for anyone who did, feel free to reply here, but on Horde, you track down Magatha Grim Totem there, and spoiler alert for those of you who haven't done this, which is a shame on you, you basically go around the entire Thousand Needles, and the Grim Totems are attacking everywhere. Attacking the Alliance, attacking the Horde, so you probably have experienced this if you're on the Alliance side. But what happens is, you go around, and this Wind Serpent becomes like your guide, and guides you around the zone, and has you kill all these different Grim Totem warriors, like Magatha's elite, right? Mm-hmm. Well, it turns out the Wind Serpent is Magatha's Wind Serpent, and she's been having you kill all of her stooges because they're incompetent boobs, right? And so she's like, I'm super evil, thanks for getting rid of my cronies, fool. And so it turns out she's captured by the Twilight Cultists, and you free her, and at the very end, she basically unloads this massive lightning storm which kills like 1 million cultists, and then she's like, I'll let you live for now, but I'm totally out of here, fool. Poof, gone. And so a character like that, to have her be a fourth, a number 4 boss in a raid that has no significance to her, I thought would be a letdown. And I'm glad they didn't put her in there, but then the question remains, where does she fit in? And we might tackle that after we're done with this, because I think I have an idea.
Okay.
But we'll move on to boss number 5. The next boss was described earlier in the day as a boss so big.
I love his name. So
powerful, so amazing, that you have to fight him in the air, right? He was massive, and he was super powerful. Now, again, we had the idea, well, this has to be Chromatus, which is the new dragon that's introduced in Twilight of the Aspects. He is a Hydra that has 5 heads, and each head is represented by one of the aspects, right? Yeah. And so he's this new amazing super creature, giant. I think in the book they say they have to wheel him in on this like massive thing because he's like, I guess asleep or knocked out or something at the time, or weak. I can't remember what was the problem. But they wheel his ass to the temple, right? So this guy's massive. And what happens is, at the end of the book, they can't kill him, so they lock him away. And I swore, well, Deathwing would have had to free him, right? Again, I think we'll talk about him at the end after we're done with this. But, yeah, I'm pretty sure that was, again, kind of like it'd be cool if it was in this thing, but he's such an important character, I guess in the books, that, again, to have him be like number 5 boss would seem kind of silly. Anyway, the guy they have instead is this massive Twilight dragon named, do you want to cover this name? Because it's brilliant. This is a great name.
Ultraxian.
Yes.
Although I want to call him Ultra Zion.
Yeah, I was about to say Ultra Zion is the dude's name.
Zion. But I think the pronunciation
Ultra Zion.
Is Ultraxian.
Yeah, Ultraxian or
Ultraxian.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. Basically, his claim to fame, I swear this is what it says, is he is the only Twilight dragon Deathwing has ever praised, and his arrogance is overshadowed only by the crackling energy surging through his twisted form. So basically, he's like the super Twilight dragon. This is one of those things where I have no lore behind this guy, because he's just a character.
There.
Like Hagara the Binder.
I mean, you'd think with someone who is this like good and this big and this massive that, he would at least be mentioned
somewhere. Right. Like if he's the only one ever to be praised by Deathwing, what is praiseworthy about this guy? Like, what has he done?
Like, literally what I think has happened here is that the art team has like modeled bosses, and then they ship pictures off to Metzen and crew, and then they just like write little like tidbits of information, and then someone puts it together in some form, and they say, "Great story, sir," and there you go.
Now, hold on. Now, this could be one of those things. Since you mentioned that, this could be one of those things that continues from the dungeons. Remember how I think it was the second dungeon? Maybe it was the first, I can't remember which, where the one dude who sounded like what is his name? The guy who plays Jean-Luc Picard and Professor X. Help me out here. What is that dude's name?
To IMDb.
We shouldn't have to IMDb freaking Jean-Luc Picard of the USS Enterprise. Something? Patrick Stewart, thank you. All right.
Yeah, see?
So Patrick Stewart, there's a boss who sounds exactly like him, and he's the dude who flies around in the quarry place. Can't remember what that place is called, but he flies around there, and at the end, he dies and his dragon leaves him, and then the dragon is one of the things right before Sindragosa.
Yeah.
I wonder if some of these characters aren't going to show up in the dungeons. Maybe that will explain some backstory, because really, a lot of them don't have anything to do with anything. Okay, so then next, which is kind of cool, but makes me a little worried that it's going to be a repeat of the gunship battle from Icecrown. The next one is you board a gunship in order to track down Deathwing. Because I assume at this point Deathwing flees. And from what the hints have been, which is very cool, I do love this, basically you're chasing his ass around Azeroth, essentially. Which will be great.
Not really.
Well, for this part you are, because when you jump on his back, which we'll talk about in a minute, I'm pretty sure that's when like the real like you're flying around Azeroth happens. Like you can see different backgrounds and stuff. But I think for this part, you're in a gunship, you're chasing him down, and his elite personal escort, which again is just a bunch of dudes riding Twilight dragons, come after you. And you, I guess, have to fight them while you're chasing Deathwing, and then at some point your airship gets destroyed, and the only way you can survive like a total pimp is by jumping on Deathwing's back. And so
I don't know if that's like the second one or the first one, because like from what I've like understood about it, you catch up to him on gunships, and then you jump off the gunships and you parachute down, and as you parachute down, you're supposed to like rip the adamantium off of his like back, like you're supposed to rip
Elementium, not adamantium.
Okay, yeah, adamantium was what he was first fused with. The elementium is what he now has. But yeah, you jump down and you have to like rip the elementium from him, because the whole deal with him having those plates and armor and whatnot is that when he uses the demon soul, it actually hurts him just as much as it hurts the other dragons, and so it like rips his body apart. And so he's like encased in at first adamantium and now elementium to hold his body together. And so to weaken him, you're supposed to go and take that elementium off of him. Like you jump down with parachutes, you rip the elementium, and then I guess you let your shoot go, or you get on his back at that point.
Right. Okay, so then after this fight with him on his back, which I assume you fly all around Azeroth, you end up at the Maelstrom. And once you're there, this is the final encounter. And the way they say this fight takes place is that you hop around the different like island parts of this of the Maelstrom area that you've seen in many different cutscenes, and you've been there. You hop around the different island parts, and you fight different parts of him. So his wings, his claws, and there's his tail, and there's something interesting they said, his tentacles, which to me, I guess pretty much backs up everything we said during our Pandaria video. Again, go watch that. We were super pimps. We called everything in advance. Keep that in mind when they talk about the expansion at BlizzCon.
Indeed.
Keep it in mind. And we said that Deathwing, there was footage in the beta of Deathwing with tentacles. It should be up on your screen now. A million people sent us pictures of that. And I think that was like a spoiler they didn't want people to see, but I guess everyone knows now that at this point he has become completely corrupted, just like Cho'Gall. Like Cho'Gall's thing was he had eyes in him. Well, Deathwing has tentacles, and so there's gonna be tentacles flying around.
So he's actually been corrupted by N'Zoth. N'Zoth has the tentacles.
Yeah, I assume so. So then that is pretty much, he has become this. I would say that once we rip this is how I would imagine the fight going down. I could be totally wrong, but just judging by what's happening, is the story behind the binding of the elementium and the adamantium plates that hold him together was because he's filled with just this massive energy, and it's literally ripping him apart. Yeah. Right? And so I wonder if the energy within him is in fact the old gods, like the power of the old gods trying to get out. And so Cho'Gall, for example, unleashed that power, and then when you fight him at the very end of Twilight Bastion, or Bastion of Twilight, whatever they call it, damn thing, he like does this like, we're gonna unleash our stuff, and then like, right, and he explodes with like one arm becomes a complete tentacle, and basically he gets completely taken over by the old gods. Well, his crazy side does, and his normal side's like, talk like this. He gets freaked out. He's like, what did we do? And I think maybe that's what happens with Deathwing here, is that he just gives in completely, and maybe anything left in him that was fighting, trying to keep himself contained, right? Whatever was left of Deathwing's former self is just poof gone, and it unleashes tentacles and crap in him. That'd be badass if tentacles
like that,
ripped out of him.
Like as you're parachuting down, right? Like this is just how I'm playing this out in my head. Like just visual representation time is basically you're like you jump off the gunship as you're falling down. You like grab a hold of Deathwing and you rip some adamant or some elementium off of them, and you like most of you have to do this, and then you parachute down and you land in the maelstrom, and then like Deathwing, you just see Deathwing like falling upside down and crashes into the maelstrom and massive waves and all this good stuff. And then all of a sudden, like, you just boom, a whole bunch of giant tentacles and whatnot bust out of the sea, and they're like punching you, and like you have to jump and hop around, and the whole time you're like trying to kill these different tentacles and whatnot. Like, that's how I see it like playing out.
Well, they have said this raid, the raid just by itself, not the dungeons, not the things leading up, the raid itself will have several in-game cinematics.
Yeah.
Which I think is great because I love the cinematics team. I know those guys personally. They are the freaking bomb. And so, and yes, I did use the word bomb, and it's not 2001, so I mean it. And these guys, they're great. And I have no doubt that whatever they've crafted, hopefully it's not another bridge being completed scene like in the Firelands. That is the most awful
Honestly,
use.
Hold on, though. But let's be honest. Like, cinematically, like, yeah, it was kind of stupid and pointless, but it still looked good. Like, it looked fantastic.
But it's, like, of all the things they could have spent their time on, a bridge, and the worst part is the music starts, it's like, and everyone in my raid was like, oh, damn, this is going to be great. And it's just a bridge forming.
Well, that's all right. I mean, what was it? In, I want to say, like, Magister's Terrace, I think. You get to a point where you have to, like, click on this orb, and basically all that does is it shows you the raid that was with it. Like, it just kind of goes through the...
Yeah, but that was cool looking, because it was like a sneak peek, and that wasn't even like a cinematic. That was just like your camera moved through the area. I'm talking, this one thing was like a rendered, like, a bridge moltenly forms. Like, really? But anyway, my hope is that they took their time and made some bad... Like, that'd be a great cinematic to have him... My vision, though, is that he comes out of the water... And he's like, oh, fuck, and boom.
No, yeah, dude, it's gotta be all, like, anime-like. It's gotta be like anime-like, where he like comes out like think Illidan in the cinematic, where he like comes up and he poofs his wings out, but like instead of like his wings coming up, like all these tentacles just like come out of his chest.
I'm telling you,
that would be amazing.
It would be great if he was just completely messed up. And I think the mage or the warlock or whatever tier 13 they had, I'll post that on the screen too. The one with the tentacles coming out of the face.
Yeah.
I hope that's like a hint of something awesome. I really do. But essentially, that's the last fight. Now, I'm not sure if you fight him in his human form at some point. Maybe. But I'm pretty sure he wouldn't do that, because that'd be kind of stupid. But that's the last fight. I wonder if there's another like super secret heroic version after that, which I guess would go into our next sort of like before we end topic.
Okay, so what we're gonna talk about what could be heroic fights.
Well, I mean, there's that, but then I guess it leads on to, they said they aren't going to release any major content patches, but buffers to the next expansion. Mm-hmm. So here's what I'm thinking. Heroic version could possibly be N'Zoth. Like, heroic people only get to fight him. But again, that seems like kind of a waste of a boss. I don't know.
This would never happen, but just like a random thought that kind of popped in my head, that would actually be like a fun thing, but I don't think it would ever actually happen. But let's go with that, right? But them not release this until Mists of Pandaria comes out, right? And let's say that N'Zoth is directly tied in with this next expansion, Mists of Pandaria. If I would totally agree with that. I would say, if anything, he wouldn't be a heroic boss. He'd be the main boss of the next one, along with Ajara. Oh, I completely agree with that. But just out of sheer like funness, just like something they could do that would be really awesome as a way to get to Pandaria, like. You go in, you defeat Deathwing, and everyone's, like, chilled out. Like, there's a nice, like, everyone's chilled out cutscene. And then, like, in Zoth, like, one of these massive tentacles comes out, grabs you, and just, like, throws you over the ocean. Think about it. Tell me that would not be one of the best ways to get to a new continent.
So you somehow you managed to survive.
Yeah, to just be, like, thrown across the ocean, and you land in Pandaria.
Well, then that would be a buffer thing. Like I would think that buffer content leaves us open for Magatha, N'Zoth, Chromatis, pretty much the end of the war between the Alliance and Horde. Thrall still has to go home at some point. Unless, like everyone says, which I guarantee it's not going to happen, but everyone's convinced he's going to be the new Earth Warden. False. Not going to happen. But whatever. Keep up your hope. And at some point, I think the war is going to end. I don't know if it'll be this expansion or next expansion or whatever it's going to happen, but the war has to end.
I think that may be some of the buffer content is the end.
Yeah, that's
is the end, moving towards the end, if not the end of this fourth war.
Right, and I think this is actually something that I bring up. This is, man, I hate to keep plugging this, but I'm going to do it anyway. Richard Knack in the interview, which I think I'll post later today.
Really? Because I want to listen to that, because, you know.
Yeah, oh, I will. I was going to wait till we got done with this thing that we're doing now. But I asked him at the very end, I said, Thrall and Varian, for as much as they're different, essentially are the exact same character.
Mm-hmm.
Their backstories are pretty much the exact same. And if anyone can relate, it's these two characters. And so I was saying, like, they both have handled their past and their powers differently, which I guess that alone is enough spoilage for the world, but I think one of them has learned to unleash it, and one of them has learned to control it.
Mm-hmm.
And so, besides that, they're pretty much the exact same character. So those two, I think, I basically asked him where I thought those two would go. Because in my mind, the only way they can really go for a MMO, like if this was a movie or some grand story, I would put them against each other in sort of like a sad twist of fate. Like they're so similar, but only one can live kind of thing. Even though they don't want to fight, they have to. Right? That's the kind of stuff I would do with this as a badass movie. But it's not. It's an MMO. And in an MMO, the best strategy to keep everyone happy, Horde and Alliance, is they need to work together. I think we're going to see... I gotta be honest, I don't even know. I had a vision of what I thought we'd see, but again, we come back to this whole Mists of Pandaria thing.
And it's gonna be funny because
I don't know where the hell it's gonna take. Like, I don't know where it's going.
It's gonna be funny when we get to BlizzCon and we're sitting there in the press box and we're like waiting, and then all of a sudden, like, you know, the big screen goes from "Welcome to BlizzCon" and the really terrible music they play comes up, and then it's like boom, and then we get this massive cinematic, and then it's something like the Burning Crusade 2.
Yeah, it's going to be something completely different that we didn't think of. But Blizzard did say, we'll talk more about pandas at BlizzCon. Yeah. So, hopefully we're right. That's all I'll say.
I hope so, because, like, we're going to have a lot of explaining to do if we're totally wrong about Pandaria.
No, so what if we get wrong? You know, who cares? I'll blame you. I'll say he didn't call me, he said I was a lore wannabe. I don't know what I'm talking about. He said I was a lore wannabe. It's all pride. I'll tell him to, you know, harass you about it. Anyway, that's pretty much it for the raid in 4.3. Now, there's some cool things that we want to talk about just at the end here.
Okay.
I had an epiphany just now.
Oh, you had an epiphany.
Chromatis is inside Barrett Hold. He's the third boss of Barrett Hold.
Is he now?
I don't know. It's just it's something I thought of. Because remember, he was captured as prisoner, right?
Uh-huh.
So, where do they put prisoners in this expansion? Barrett Hold.
So you think he's in Barrett Hold?
I don't think, but I would guess if they're going to put him anywhere, it's there. But, I guess this leaves us open for whatever happens in the next expansion. I have a feeling, I think we talked about this, that since Blizzard's trying to get expansions done faster, at a faster rate, because as the game ages, what keeps people playing isn't the new, like, oh my god, this new battle system or whatever. It's going to be new content.
Mm-hmm.
Like, new things will keep people playing and coming back, right? There's no way that they can outdo Star Wars or Guild Wars or, like, when it comes to the way the game plays, right? They can't change their core mechanics. It's impossible. So they have to keep content pushed. So I wonder if this expansion, maybe the expansion after that, and the expansion after that, are just all going to be connected. Like one giant end storyline. So sure, we beat Deathwing now, but next expansion is Queen Ajara, who is like just twisted and warped and still in league with the old gods. And maybe we'll see N'Zoth then. Then after that, we're going to be underwater with the remnants of the Well of Eternity. So what a better thing to do than go through the well to like the demon worlds, right? And so then, of course, there's what are those two characters' names? Help me out here.
I believe 2. You're talking about Turalian and Illyria.
Thank you, lore man. Those characters have been fan favorites since Warcraft 2. No word from them.
Turalian is just a badass. Like seriously, people who are listening right now, and I know that like he wasn't mentioned in Warcraft 3 at all. He wasn't mentioned in WoW at all. Like Turalian is like, forget Varian, forget what's his face. All right. Turalian is like the Alliance's version of Broxigar.
Pretty much. I mean, he's a super badass, and if you played Beyond the Dark Portal, which I believe is the expansion to Warcraft 2, he essentially leads like a group of superstars in through the portal to take on the Horde on the other side.
Yeah, and there's like 8 of them, and they take on the entire Horde,
seriously,
and they win.
And it's ridiculously funny. I mean, the expansion's great, but when you think about it, there's seriously 8 of them, and they like one-shot the Horde.
What are they call themselves? I know those who have played the Burning Crusade, the Sons of Lothar,
like Khadgar and all those guys, yeah. And so that's how we know they're still alive, because Khadgar says they're still alive. Like he says they're out there somewhere. Where we don't know. I have a feeling they're on like another world, because I think it was hinted they're in the Twisting Nether somewhere.
No, it's been hinted that they're on the planet Argus.
All right, well there you go. And so that means you would have to go to the Demon Homeworld.
Basically, I mean the biggest theory is that they're taking on the Burning Legion themselves, like at Argus, the home of the Burning Legion.
It makes sense. If 8 of them can do it, I'm sure those 2, who now have probably leveled up to like 90, level 95, they're one-shotting people left and right. So it makes perfect sense. So
who else has been one-shotting people left and right, Jesse?
I don't remember who. Who was that?
No, you definitely remember. You just don't want to say it.
Nope. Can't remember who.
Okay.
Was that in a book?
It was in a book. It was in a book that you very recently read, actually.
Wolfheart? Is that book? Is that canon?
That is 100% canon.
Damn. Yeah. All right. Anyone who's a fan of the Alliance will love Wolfheart. As a Horde member, it's kind of depressing. You're like, damn, Varian became like a pimp, like super pimp.
All right. Well, now that you've given it away,
no, he just becomes a super pimp. The story of Varian and Logosh, and if you are down with the Worgen, and you've been like, where the hell have they been this expansion?
Oh, God.
Pretty much, this explains, if you like Night Elves, Worgen, Varian, and the Logosh storyline, and you want to know what happens in Ashen Vale, get Wolfheart. There you go.
If you like to see orcs get their asses handed to them,
I hate you. I hate you so much, you son of a bitch. That's it. That's our look at 4.3. As you can tell, we have so much more we want to talk about, but really,
I could talk for days.
Yeah, there's the rest would be like stuff we've already gone over and what the next expansion would be. So, besides that, if you're really looking forward to 4.3 stuff, there's the Darkmoon Fair Island, which doesn't even have a location yet. There's the Transmogrifier, which is also transmogrification. Basically, you have to go back and get all the old items that you threw away if you want to look like that stuff, which is great for me, because I swear to God, I kept my tier 3, which then became tier 6, forever, because I loved that set, and eventually I was like, screw it, threw it out. And it was like, seriously, that was like 3 months ago, and I'm so pissed. You can basically equip all that stuff. They will add the new looking for raid system, which originally I thought was the dumbest idea in the world, but now seeing that you have to go back and collect all your old stuff, and that the looking for raid system lets you go back to those old dungeons, I know for a fact I couldn't shout on my raid looking for such and such to do Naxxramas and get the people I needed. For some reason, when you're on a serious like progression server,
my question with that is this though, because like they've brought back Onyxia and they brought back Naxxramas. What about the gear that you would have originally gotten from those? Because isn't tier 3 Paladin a part of Onyxia?
No.
No.
I think they removed that and changed it. Tier 3 is gone. Like tier 3 is completely gone. The way they have it set up now.
Which one is the badass Paladin armor? Is tier 2 or tier 3?
Hold on. If we go Paladin, tier 2 is the one that has like the face mask. Yeah, Judgment. That's tier 2. Okay. So that would be the first Nefarian.
Okay.
So there's Molten Core, which is still in the game. There's Nefarian, which is still in the game. They skip Naxxramas round 1. That's tier 3 is no longer in the game. Then it goes tier 2.5, which is Cthulhu Dungeon, Anchorage, or whatever that place was called.
AQ.
Tier 4 is there. Tier 5 is there. Tier 6 is there. Tier 7. Tier 8. Tier 9, which I believe.
So basically, you cannot get transmogrification to work with tier 3.
Tier 3 is tier 6 or tier 7, one of the two. Tier 3, Naxxramas 1 became Naxxramas 2 gear.
Okay, so they just carried it over then.
Yes, exact same looking gear.
That's fine.
It just yeah. And basically, so I like the idea. I like the idea of just clicking a button and then waiting, especially as a healer, because I know I'll get in like immediately. So I got no problem with that. I'm thrilled by that. I don't know if the raids will be worth anything, but I do know that by clicking it, at least I'll have the chance. Like, I can go to MC and get that gear with 3 people. No problem. 2 people in some cases. Sometimes even 1 if I want to be a badass.
You need a healer and like a rogue or something. Something with like some decent HP.
And then you can do it.
Hell, you could probably do it with a mage.
If you're a Death Knight, you can pretty much solo everything in the game now. Yeah. F you Death Knights.
Who was it? Like someone soloed recently. Someone soloed Malagos.
Yes, I'm pretty sure it was that dude who solos everything just because he can. Yeah. You know what? I wish I would have had this recorded. I thought I pressed record, but I didn't, and I'm so mad. During a recent trip to the Firelands, it was Firelands 10-man. We had 2 tanks. We have a tank who is a Death Knight. We have a tank who is a warrior, right?
Yeah.
The warrior the Death Knight isn't in vent. So we type pool, right? Mm-hmm. He thinks we're pulling the dogs, the wandering packs of dogs. We're pulling scorpions, right?
Yeah.
The tank pulls the scorpions. The Death Knight pulls the wandering pack of dogs, right? He's like, don't worry, guys. I'll take them off and die. We kill the scorpions. However long it takes to kill the scorpions. We look over. The dude's still fighting the dogs. Current level. Death Knight in like some BOT gear, right?
Yeah.
And like 1 or 2 Firelands pieces, fighting off dogs who are level 85 super elites in the Firelands. And when we just got
down boy.
3 of them were at half life. And we're just like, what were you? And he's a tank. And we're like, what were you doing? He's like, I kept healing. I wish I would have recorded, because we sat there staring at him. Like, we were cracking up. Like, this is completely unfair. And he's just wailing, just wailing back and forth on these guys. I was so mad. So yeah, Death Knights, you guys are unbelievable.
Yeah, Yeah, no, not doing it.
Don't do it.
Not doing it.
Anyway, guys, I think that's it. I'm not sure what else there's to talk about. I think we talked about everything there is for 4.3. Hopefully you enjoyed, especially at our now 5:37 in the morning.
Yeah,
ending this video.
We've been on here on Skype for like an hour and 45 minutes now.
Terrific. So that's it, guys. Again, thanks for watching. Thumbs up, subscribe, all that stuff. Go check out Pride's channel, The Smoking Gamer. Lots of videos there. Anything they can expect in the future, friend? Well, there will be. You just started your new channel, so we're trying to get like
definitely. We're definitely gonna be on But Wait There's Lore, which is live on Orderso Radio on Fridays. But you can catch the archives on The Smoking Gamer every week. Oh, this one will be up by the end of the day. But most importantly, we are going to be digging into 4.3 lore, like massive 4.3 lore. And getting into some, like, I don't want to say real theory crafting, because, like, I don't want to make Jesse feel bad. But
cut me deep, bro. You cut me deep.
But we're gonna be theory crafting with many other experts in the field of World of Warcraft lore, and then we've also got this deal with magic. Apparently, two of the hosts have been fighting, like I'm talking like real fighting. Like at school, they like got expelled for fighting over this, and so we're gonna let them hash it out.
Two dudes did not get. All right. To this point, I've never heard anything more nerdy, but I think I had two dudes did not get expelled from school for fighting over a Warcraft lore.
True story, true facts.
Here's something that we're just rambling at this point, so I'm okay with it. Last year at BlizzCon, I saw two dudes.
Wait, hold on, please. I think I wasn't there last year. Go ahead.
Two dudes were fighting in the middle of the street in downtown Anaheim about whether Varian Wrynn was a relatable character or not. I'm not talking about, like, I hate you fighting. I'm talking about, like, shirt coming off, fist fighting in the middle of the street. And then some dude comes up and says, Varian Wrynn is nothing more than Chris Metzen's alter ego, and it's a piece of shit, right? And immediately, both dudes who were fighting start fighting this dude. Like, don't make fun of Metzen! It was hilarious. And the best part is there were like 50 people gathered around watching, cheering him on. And it's in the middle of the street. We're seriously like not but a half a block from Disneyland. I'm sure little kids are like, Mommy, Daddy, what are they doing? Those are just nerds fighting, son. Don't worry.
Only in America.
All right, for realsies, though, let's end this thing.
All right, yeah, we're done. Check out The Smoking Gamer. Like, subscribe, all that good stuff.
We'll talk to you guys later. Adios.